I brought water up here with me this time because my folks always tell me, your mouth always gets dry. You're doing like, take my water, because this one is really, it's long. This is my testimony piece, the first time that I'm doing it. I'm hoping that I'm able to get through it, because every time I'm home and I'm practicing, I always get messed up and I end up crying somewhere. I mean, I'm not even a crier, but I end up crying somewhere. It's been crazy. Let's see. I know that this piece came from a place where I pretty much just experience after experience in life and hardship after hardship in life. I learned that I shouldn't complain about it, because we all experience hardships, and we all experience circumstances in life, some that we can and some that we cannot control. But I got to a place where I was just pretty much, I felt like I was backed into a corner, and I feel like God did that purposefully. And I feel like he did that because in that corner, I couldn't trust family. And in that corner, I couldn't trust friends. In that corner, I didn't have a shoulder to lean on, but all I had was him. And so I think that, well, I know that he pushed me in that corner for those reasons and for those purposes. And so it was crazy because one of my friends that is an artist in Baltimore, invited me to his church to speak at an event, and I went and I spoke at the event, and I went out of loyalty for my friends. I didn't really want to go, and I didn't really feel like I was fit at that time in my life in the place where I was to minister anything. But I went out of my loyalty to my friends. But on my ride home, I felt like a strong urge to just look up scriptures that had to do with struggles in life. And say, first of all, Google, y'all know Google does anything. Google will do it for you. You can get free from Google. Did y'all know that? Because I got free that night. So I Googled scriptures on struggles and whatnot. And so the two scriptures that came to me that were like so profound and so pivotal and became vital to me, and I think about the scriptures every single day because they are really two scriptures that help me become free from everything, is the 119 Psalms, verse 67, okay? Yes. It says, before I was afflicted, yes, I went astray. We talked about this line, didn't we, right? Yes. Before I was afflicted, I went astray, but now I obey your word. Yes. What? Hey. What? So you mean to tell me that I went astray, so that means that experiences in my life, things that I don't care too much for, is because I went outside of your will. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I received the consequence, which is the affliction, also that I may obey your word. Right. What? Also that I may know your word better and learn the principles of it and apply those things to my life. And then verse 71 goes on to say that it is good for me that I was afflicted. Yes. So that I may learn your decrees, so that I may learn your statuses. And the thing that really came transparent to me was, it is good for me that I experienced hell on earth. Why? So that I may learn from the things that I was going through, know God more, and turn around and be able to live my life in a way where I can receive heaven. Because if he were to smite me in my sin, I would have went to hell and wouldn't have had an opportunity to turn my life around and to get the things right. So the afflictions on earth came also that I may know God more, came also that I may know his word more, and that I can obey it. All right? So that's where this piece came from, and this is, if this ain't transparent, I don't know what to tell you. Because this was hard to write. Actually, I'm in a master's program now, too, at Eastern University. So if I talk philosophical sometimes, y'all know where I get it from. I study hard. But I'm in a counseling psychology program, and my concentration is applied behavior analysis. But I need to tell you, I write to my group chat. Winter Circle, shout out to y'all. I love y'all so much. So the Winter Circle, that's the organization I'm a part of. We do missionary work, and we just pretty much go into the community and do outreach, and we try to just help everybody that we can. But I work in our group chat all the time. This class is like tearing me up emotionally because I can't deal with it. But these classes are really heavy. In our last class that we had, it was called personality. So we were talking about pretty much how you get your personality and the study of personality. And I'm sorry if I'm rambling on, but I really want to tell y'all where I came to the conclusion with this, because I actually started writing this piece a year ago. but I wasn't fit to finish it yet. So in this class that I was taking, personality dynamics, this class that I was taking, personality dynamics, in this class we had to write a paper called a self-assessment. And so in this paper, we literally had to dig deep into, and because we go outside and we wear these clothes and we tell people who we are. Like I actually spoke about earlier, we tell people who we want them to know that we are, right? But this self-assessment was talking about the literal truth of the experiences that you endured in life, and it's talking about the actuality of who you are, regardless of who you try to portray yourself to be. Who God made you to be, the experiences that were put in your life to cause you to grow and move forward, but then you had a different perspective on them. You thought they were hardships, when in actuality that was the thing that was pushing you into your blessing, right? And so that's that paper. When I finished that paper, I was able to finish this piece, and I was like, God, like, we were in class crying. I shared with the class my testimony, and we were just, it was amazing. So I'm gonna go to this piece, all right?
You got it, Sage.
He wanted to be free from homosexuality, but a rested spirit of perversion kept him locked up. Imprisoned by the officer of hell, the judge of damnation sentenced his memory with the indictment of the same-sex violation that groped his body when he was just about the age of 6. Innocent yet guilty is what he was reminded to be, as if it were his fault. And at this point of confusion, he was taught that he had no one to turn to, so he kept his secrets locked away. He turned to his mother, but she was ashamed. He turned to his father, but he was absent, afraid to present this dilemma to his stepfather because he remembered him expressing his anger towards gay men as sissies and faggots. So he learned to refer to himself in third person. Yes, he is I. Until I met God in 3 persons. Father, who I call Daddy, Son, my big brother, and the Holy Spirit who purifies every corridor of my dark and filthy soul. Blessed Trinity, blessed Trinity, blessed Trinity. See, because he is not who I wanted to be, but he is who I actually was. I learned to identify myself as 2 different people, as if I suffered from multiple personality disorder, internalizing what was truthfully going on with the juxtaposition of my emotions, yet outwardly only showing the world who they would approve of. And so I asked myself questions like, CJ, what is wrong with you? You know God. So why don't you just ask him to help you with this beast that needs to be tamed? But I can't even lie to you. At times it felt like God didn't even know my name, because I called on him and I asked for help. But the freedom seemed temporary, as if I violated probation. It was like I could only be free with stipulations, because as soon as I would entertain that temptation, I would be locked right back up, and I couldn't bail myself out. I went to the bank of the altar trying to withdraw every single demon, but the only fulfillment that I felt was depositing the spirits of other men into the account of my soul. But I was always left with nothing. Empty I remained, just wanting to be made whole. So the comfort of another wounded young boy wrapped in a grown man's body is what I would revert to, because we understood each other and we didn't judge each other. But no matter how many times I tried to get out of this lifestyle, and felt like I was trapped with the rat in a maze, or my GPS kept redirecting me into the wrong direction. And so I guess that's what led me to my next dead-end destination, because I wanted to be free from infidelity. As a kid, the only template of true love and the only outline of true affection that I had was a rough draft of destruction, in which I used as a reference for the final copy of my relationships. Imagine me, a young boy with a mind of clay, which had already been tainted by the circumstances of life, waiting to be molded into a man. I was raised without my biological father, longing to fulfill the footsteps of my stepfather figure in figures, but I was confused, because I admired a man who was often overworked and underpaid. His work ethic was impeccable. The leader of his pack, he was the prime example of what a provider is to a woman and their children. As I looked up to him, in his eyes I saw Paul, and I became Timothy, his understudy, successor, adjutant, the carrier of his mantle. I became strong, hardworking, innovative, powerful, resilient, ambitious, I became a cheater, an infidel. No boundaries for the secrecy of relationships, I became him. I became the very man that I said I would never be. As I witnessed my mother, I became the very man that I said I would never be. As I witnessed my mother's tear ducts, I became the very man that I said I would never be. As I witnessed the levees of my mother's tear ducts break, and stressed tears streamed down her face as she bared the truths of her shared companionship. I became the inheritance of the seed that was sown into the soil of my soul, only to harvest a lifestyle of hurt, pain, misery, embarrassment, hate, and confusion. I may as well been swing dancing the way that I changed partners, never to get emotionally attached because I didn't want to be wounded by the afflictions of affection. This became my lifestyle. Swindling partners to agree to a system that I had strategically planned out so that I could reap the benefit like a pyramid scheme. I played so many characters in life I got lost in with the Broadway but could never remember the theme. But no matter how many times I tried to get out of this lifestyle, it felt like I was trapped with a rat in a maze. Or my GPS kept redirecting me to the wrong direction. And so I guess that's what led me to my next dead-end destination, because I wanted to be free from suicide.
Let's go, Sage.
I remember my life increasing in tragedy, all stemming from trauma. But I didn't know how to deal with it, so I always put on an act or mask the truth. My life became a drama. I had enough of being different, enough of being teased, enough of being the outcast, enough of not being able to please. The first time that I tried it, I was about 13 and I planned out my last breath. I laid knives in a bed and rolled around it with hopes to stab myself to death. The second time that I tried it, I was really taking angles. I would smoke the L and pop the E, switch combinations, pop the E to smoke the L. I guess I was really trying to see the angels. But wait, hold on, that's not even it. I took 9 shots to the face like I was 50 Cent. Intoxicated, I put the car in drive and had an out-of-body experience. I guess I was literally trying to ghost ride the whip. The third time that I tried it, it was after the worst breakup of my life. I remember after I got off of work, I drove around and I planned to pull in front of a tractor trailer, slam on brakes and put my car in park. I just knew it would be the end of it all. But somehow for the 5 hours that I drove around, I could find not one truck. So I drove back home and I parked my car and my soul just gave up. No, my conscience said, CJ, look up. And so I did, but I couldn't really believe what I saw. But it was God standing there with his arms wide open, telling me to give everything over to him so that he could carry it all. I said, God, but why? I'm this terrible person. I deserve to suffer. He said, no, son. I gave you the strength to carry these burdens so that my lessons, you can learn them. I said, God, what about what people think, or better yet, what they know? He says, son, I'm the only judge, so your past does not concern them. I said, Father, how about when I perverted your relationships, I engaged in homosexuality? He says, son, I'm the God of all humanity, so I reform your identity and restore your manhood and masculinity. I said, God, how about when I treated my relationships, I turned your vows to sin? He says, son, so did King David, and guess what? I forgave him. I said, God, how about when I try to take my own life? He says, son, you know the answer to that. I am life, and I come to you more abundantly. Now, what other problems do you have so that I can continue to set you free? I said, well, God, I was always the ugly duckling. I never had the value of worth, so I figured if I took my own life, I would become one with the earth. He said, son, you are one with the earth because she is my bride. And at the moment that I spat on the dust, you became the harvest of my pride, the apple of my eye. Now submit to my will so that in the love of my heart you can hide. And guess what, y'all? I did just that. I was filthy, impure, and distressed. So he forgave me, cleaned me up, and snatched me out of my mess. When I didn't think I was good enough, he validated me. When I didn't think that I was attractive, he told me that I was made in his image. And when I didn't know how to love, oh, how I didn't know how to love, he also pointed out that flaw and took it up above. So he took me to 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and this is where his love intervened, because my love was anxious, his love is patient. My love was jealous, his love is not envy. My love was hurtful, his love is kind. My love was conceited, his love is not, my love was...
Come on, you got it.
So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, and this is where his love intervened, because my love was anxious, his love is patient. My love was hurtful, his love is kind. My love was jealous, his does not envy. My love was cocky, his does not boast. My love was conceited, his is not proud. My love was hurtful, my love was hateful, his does not dishonor others. My love was harsh, his is not quick to anger. My love was grudging, his kept no record of wrongdoing. So,
Ooh, thank you, God. Thank you, God.
His kept no record of wrongdoing. So he took, Jesus. His kept no record of wrongdoing. So he taught me all the lessons that I had never learned and set me free from the little 6-year-old boy that was scorned. So I tell you, without a doubt, that he set me free from all of the secrets that I tried to hide. As soon as my heart and his love collide, so I tell you that if he did this thing for me and allowed me to live in his truth, then he can absolutely do the same for you. I stand here before you today, vulnerable, truthfully happy, victorious, no longer broken in this world, but only broken in God.
Jesus.
Because I realize that I'm nothing without him.
Ooh, Jesus.
And that I need thee. Oh, how I need thee. And I am free. Jesus. I am free. I am free by the power of God. I am free. I am free. I am free by the power of God. And now the silence is broken.
Yes.